The Kinzua Viaduct stood intact for 121 years. Today, it still serves a purpose. Stick around to get an up-close look at the eighth wonder of the world here at the Kinzua Bridge State Park. Kinzua Bridge State Park was created in 1963 and opened in 1970. At that time, the bridge was still intact, spanning the Kinzua Gorge. At the time of its construction in 1882, it was the highest and longest railroad bridge in the world.
No, just for like two.
No, but thank you very much.
Let's head out from the visitor center to the Skywalk, and we'll talk a little bit about the history of the bridge on the way. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We'd love to have you come along on more of our day trips, and it would really help us out hitting our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're a bit behind right now, and we sure could use your help to hit that number. And while you're there, click the like to give the Kinzua Bridge a big thumbs up. Originally built in 1882 using wrought iron columns, heavier locomotives and trains required a rebuild in 1900 using steel. Unfortunately, they used the original iron bolts that secured the bases of the towers to the anchor blocks. The bridge continued to carry coal, oil, and lumber for the Erie Railroad until 1959. After the state obtained the bridge for the park, the bridge didn't see any rail traffic until 1987, when the Knox and Kane Railroad began running excursions across the bridge, with a stop in the middle to get a look at the Kinzua Gorge. In 2002, it was determined the structure was unsafe, and all rail and pedestrian traffic was stopped on the bridge. In 2003, work began to reinforce and secure the structure. Several months into that process, on July 21, 2003, disaster struck. A severe weather system developed affecting eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and western New York. As the workmen were preparing to leave for the day, an F1 tornado with speeds of at least 94 miles per hour spun up about a mile from the bridge and began a 2.5-mile rampage down the Kinzua Gorge, with the bridge squarely in its path. Now, do you remember those reused iron bolts we mentioned in the 1900 rebuild? The damage surveys concluded that when the tornado impacted the bridge, it actually oscillated out of line 4 or 5 times, and those bolts began to fail. The result? 11 of the 20 towers collapsed into the gorge below. The wreckage was left in place where it fell, as an example of the power of nature. In 2011, the remaining structure was reopened as the Kinzua Skywalk, the centerpiece attraction here in the park. An inch-thick glass viewport in the deck gives visitors the opportunity to walk on thin air and observe the bottom of the gorge 225 feet below. Although today the view through the glass is at best foggy. Trails to the bottom allow access for a close-up view of the wrecked structure, while the Skywalk gives incredible views of the Allegheny Mountains and Pennsylvania's great outdoors region. The view is particularly spectacular in early October with the fall colors of the foliage. Well, I hope you enjoyed this stop at Kinzua Bridge State Park today. This is definitely worth the trip to see this unique attraction. Until the next time, as always, have a great week.